Here's how I master things. The first time I read something or listen to something, I do not take notes. I just consume it. I just consume it. The second time I take notes. The third time, this is where the millions are. It's called connective learning. Because now I'm familiar with the content. I kind of know what's coming next. So every time I read something, I'm like, I'm gonna apply it to this, my business, this. I start connecting the dots. If you do this 25 times with 25 different books, courses, whatever you read, after 25 times, I do it naturally. I could look at anything, read anything, listen to anything, and connect the dots. Here's what success is. 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. Your job is to connect the dots. No one is going to connect the dots for your business. So you have to master it.
It's imperfect action. You're going to hate hearing that, and I hate to tell you, but it's imperfect action. You're not going to get the confidence to take the action. You're going to gain the confidence from taking the action. It's inverse. It's a paradox. You cannot wait for the self-belief to do the thing. You have to step into the discomfort and do the thing and gain the confidence from it. You see, action breeds momentum. Action and momentum breed clarity. Action, momentum, and clarity together all breed the confidence in which you seek. I've been comfortable doing anything that I've done so far. I wasn't comfortable posting on social media for the first time. I'm certainly not comfortable with the fact that I'm planning a 10-city live show tour with theaters that I have to sell tickets to, that people have to come and watch me. In real life, I'm sitting there like, what if no one comes to my birthday party? But I'm uncomfortable because I know the most successful people, there is a direct correlation between their success and the degree of uncertainty that they can tolerate and move through. So if you value certainty highly, you will likely never have the success that you are looking for. So just do it anyway and accept that if you want to have what you want, a rule of the game to buy in and play is being really uncomfortable and maybe not confident that it's going to work out, okay? It isn't easy, but it is simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Love you. Mwah.
You think money is about math. You believe it's about hustle. You've been told it's about timing. But I am here to tell you, you're wrong. It is about alignment. It is about vibration. It is about the silent force that surrounds you. And that force is what I call your aura. You do not attract what you chase. You attract what you are. Your aura is your broadcast signal. It is the frequency you emit unconsciously, consistently, and unapologetically. Before you speak, it speaks for you. Before you enter a room, it arrives ahead of you. Before you pitch an idea, or launch a product, or ask for a raise, your aura has already negotiated the terms. So if you are poor on the inside, if you carry doubt in your bones, if your self-talk drips with scarcity, then I don't care how big your dreams are, you will sabotage your success at every turn. This is the law of resonance, and it is non-negotiable. You see, every thought you think emits a signal. Every emotion you hold becomes a pattern. Every belief you adopt becomes a magnetic current, either pulling prosperity toward you or repelling it from your field. You are either a magnet or a repellent. And here's where people fail. They try to fake confidence. They paste on smiles. They rehearse affirmations they don't believe. They act as if but vibrate fear underneath it all. And the universe reads the real signal, not your words, not your dreams, your energy. So let me ask you a question. What are you broadcasting? Because your aura cannot lie, it reflects your truth. If you are constantly anxious about money, the message you send island, I live in lack. If you envy others' success, the message island, there is not enough for me. If you undercharge, apologize for your price, feel guilt for winning, the message island, I do not believe in my own worth. That signal becomes your ceiling, and no strategy will save you until your signal is rewired. Now, let's be clear. Your aura is not some mystical idea. It is a reflection of your emotional habits. It is built through repetition. It is shaped by focus. It is strengthened through mental discipline. You are training your aura every time you think a thought, every time you hold a belief, every time you speak words out loud. Every single one of these becomes part of the field.
There's a book everybody's got to read. It's called 38 Letters Rockefeller Wrote His Son. Trust me, go buy the book. Thank me later. This is stuff that he wrote, letters he wrote to his son in 1899, 1906. And here's how the letter starts. Dear John, I have some terrible news to report to you. Mr. Benson just died. Mr. Benson was the greatest rival I ever had. He was the one that got me out of bed to compete because I've had many different competitors, but this was one of my favorite rivals. He says, in life, pick your rivals appropriately. What? Competition? Yes. In the book, Rockefeller talks about how when he was a younger guy, younger kid, he said there's two things he wanted to do in life. Be the richest man in the world and live up to 100. He became the richest man, never lived to 100.
Yes.
Mr. Jobs, you're a bright and influential man.
Here it comes.
It's sad and clear that on several counts you've discussed, you don't know what you're talking about. I would like, for example, for you to express in clear terms how, say, Java, in any of its incarnations, addresses the ideas embodied in OpenDoc. And when you're finished with that, perhaps you could tell us what you personally have been doing for the last 7 years.
You can please some of the people some of the time. But one of the hardest things when you're trying to affect change is that people like this gentleman are right in some areas. I'm sure that there are some things OpenDoc does, probably even more that I'm not familiar with, that nothing else out there does. And I'm sure that you can make some demos, maybe a small commercial app that demonstrates those things. The hardest thing is, how does that fit in to a cohesive, larger vision that's going to allow you to sell $8 billion, $10 billion of product a year? And one of the things I've always found is you've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it. And I've made this mistake probably more than anybody else in this room. And I've got the scar tissue to prove it. And I know that it's the case. And as we have tried to come up with a strategy and a vision for Apple, it started with what incredible benefits can we give to the customer? Where can we take the customer? Not starting with, let's sit down with the engineers and figure out what awesome technology we have, and then how are we going to market that? And I think that's the right path to take.
The single most important skill that you can learn in your life, if you're going to be in business, for example, is to be a risk manager. If you don't understand how to manage risks, you're unlikely to take appropriate risks. Yeah. Here's my simple formula for that. Ask 3 questions. First question is, what's the best thing that can happen as a result of taking this risk? Second question, what's the most likely thing to happen if I were to take that risk? Third question, the most important question of all, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, that's right.
And then the way I make a decision is very simple. I say, if the most likely thing to happen will get me closer to my goals, and if I'm willing to deal with the worst thing that can happen, I go for it. I go for it with gusto.